Hello, everybody. Oliver G. here. This is the Earful Tower podcast, and I'm sure you've heard before that there are 20 districts in Paris. 20 arrondissements is what they call in French. But did you know that when my brother visited Paris, he was very taken by the concept of these different districts and called them kingdoms. He loved it. If we said we're going for dinner tonight in the 11th, he'd be like, oh, the 11th kingdom. And you know what? I love that too. Not just because the word kingdom is kind of cool, but I feel like all the 20 different districts, or kingdoms, if you will, have their own soul and their own personality. And I thought it could be fun to explore that a little deeper and share it with you. So what you're hearing now on this new season of the Earful Tower is my deep dive into the different kingdoms, the 20 kingdoms of Paris. This isn't me going out there finding things and recommending them for you. This is me finding someone who either lives or works or loves the district and wants to talk about it. So in this episode, in the 20th kingdom, you're going to hear me chatting with Abiola, a social worker who absolutely adores the 20th. And I said, you tell me where to meet you, you show me what you want to show me, and you tell me about your kingdom. So voila, let's go to the 20th. After a quick few words from the sponsor of this show, which is myself, Earful Tower Tours. As you maybe know, we do walking tours of Paris. And here's a quote. It didn't feel like a tour. It felt like hanging out with someone who knows Paris inside out. That's the goal. Earful Tower Tours are small, personal, and led by a team who truly live and breathe this city. No big groups, no memorized speeches, just a funny, thoughtful, occasionally surprising way to explore the Marais, the Latin Quarter, and Montmartre. If you like the podcast, you'll love this. Search Earful Tower Tours, or look in the show notes below, and come and walk Paris properly. Let's have some music from Press Maxon to start us off, and then we're heading to the 20th to talk with coffee-loving Abiola. So I'm sitting on the terrace of a cafe called Café Bombin.
Like Bambino.
Bombin with Abiola, who's a long-term friend of not just me, but of the Earful Tower. You go...
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
You're a huge fan as well?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Is that just because I'm buying this coffee?
Of course, obviously.
Let's talk. I want to talk about... Firstly, I want people to know sort of our story so that they can picture what's going on. We had our kids in the same crèche at the same time.
Yep.
And they are a really good friend.
Yeah, this best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something I thought about when I was coming here with me and you that I don't think we talked about before. Yeah. We used to always speak French together.
Yep.
And then I don't know, we switched to English.
English, but it's been maybe 2 years we switch in English.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I don't know, maybe because we talk about basketball and NBA, that's why.
So we go way back. We've even been on holiday together.
Yeah, in Sweden. It was nice.
And Abiola, I know he thinks that the 20th arrondissement is the paradise on earth, basically.
Yeah, that's the best arrondissement in Paris, the best kingdom.
Okay, thank you for saying it. Now, I want to sort of I want to understand why you like it here so much. And just for everyone at home, I said to Abiola, he doesn't need to try and say things that people might want to hear. I want to hear why you like it. And maybe we start with that. What do you like about this district?
I used to live there for 10 years, so what I like about it, it's really vibrant. I like the diversity of the people. I like to go in Belleville because it's chaotic. I like the food in Belleville and Jourdain. You got Asian food, you got food from Tunisia, you got African food, you got everything, and really good restaurant. I love Le Père Lachaise, Gambetta. What I like also is like it's really big. It's a really big kingdom, and you got that Porte de Montreuil. I used to live in Porte de Montreuil, and what I like about Porte de Montreuil is like we call it L'Île Algérie. It's like full of restaurants from Algeria, and we used to live there with my wife and my kid, and it was peaceful. A lot of people think it's a little bit edgy. That's what I like too, but it's a little bit edgy, yeah, to tell the truth. And
what do you mean edgy? What does that mean?
I think for a tourist perspective, I wouldn't recommend to go in Port de Montreuil, not because it's dangerous, because it's not dangerous, but you don't have a lot of things to do in next to Port de Montreuil, Avron. It's just where the people live. So if you want to catch the vibe of a neighborhood, it's nice. But from a tourist perspective, I think Jourdain, Pyrénées, Belleville is the shit.
And that's where we've been hanging around today. We went to a coffee shop where the guy said that this is the last village in Paris. Do you agree with that?
Totally, especially the Jourdain area and the Saint-Blaise area too, but I'm going to talk about that later. But the Jourdain and Pyrénées area is really like a small village, and I say hi, I wave everybody. It's especially on the Place des Rigoles, it's in Jourdain. There is a place, I call it the Spanish place. That's my name for it's Place des Rigoles, and it's full of kids playing football and adults drinking natural wine, and it's so cool.
You sort of said that the things you like are chaos and multiculturalism. Does that say a lot about you, or does that say a lot about Paris? Or
yeah, that's say a lot about Paris because it's a multicultural city, and a lot of people doesn't think that when they come in town. They think it's like the like in the movie, like in the 70s, and it's a multicultural city.
Like in Emily in Paris, I think.
Emily in Paris is is the worst stereotype about Paris. But in some way, you can have that Paris in the Ile Saint-Louis and stuff like that. But Paris is more than that. It's the 18e arrondissement, 19e arrondissement, 20e arrondissement. Even if the south of Paris, in the 13e arrondissement, it's really different.
So if the audio cut out, it's because the batteries ran out. Unprofessional. But here's a clue of the friendliness of people in the 20th arrondissement. Do you know what they just did?
No.
They took the batteries out of the smoke alarm.
That's the 20e arrondissement. That's really
a bit of danger in there as well.
Yeah, we love the danger here.
We will get in trouble if this place burns down in the next hour.
Ah, but that's French.
Okay, so you were saying, I don't know if it got cut off, but you were saying that there's lots of different sort of multiculturalism going on in different districts.
Community. And, well, to tell you the truth, it's really French in a way because the 20e arrondissement is a little bit dirty. I have to say that. It's a little bit dirty. It's a little bit chaotic because it's full of great restaurants, great bars, so it's noisy, especially in that part of Belleville, Pyrénées. Maybe in Avron, in Gambetta, it's more quiet, but next to Belleville, it's really intense.
I want to ask a question that I don't really usually talk about this on the show. You're a black guy in Paris.
Yep.
Do you feel that places like the 20th, do you feel like it's more... I don't want to get into a whole conversation about the racism and stuff like that, but I mean, do you feel like it's more sort of black friendly in this neighborhood, or are there places that are really un-black friendly, for example?
I think, it was easy for me because I grew up in the suburbs in Paris, full of black people and Arab people, and when I came into Paris, into town, I came in the 20th arrondissement, and it was maybe easier for me to come here. It's really different from the 12th arrondissement where we live with Oliver. We live in the 12th arrondissement. It's more white, and in the 20th, it's multicultural. So maybe it's easier for me, for a black person, to have to find an apartment. And I have to say the truth, for black people it's complicated to find apartments, and in the 20th arrondissement it's more easy. So, but that's not what I like about the arrondissement, but it's the truth.
Yeah, that's me asking questions that weren't scripted.
Yeah.
But it's interesting too. I mean, I know that you know Paris really well.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have a perspective of how it's not like that you just live and work in the 20th and don't go anywhere else. I know that you have your finger on the pulse of the whole city. So speaking of finger on the pulse, one thing that you're famous for in my circles is knowing the best cafes of the city.
Yeah, I'm a king of coffee shop.
It's true. You're the king. What? Why?
Because, I don't know, I've been in South Africa maybe 15 years ago, something like that. And I wasn't into coffee at that time. And it was in Cape Town, it was big. It was they got a coffee scene way back in time. And I was there and I tried coffee and I was like, fuck it, I want that. So when I came back in Paris, I tried to find coffee shops. And the only one I found it was, Coutume. No, yeah, maybe Coutume in the 18e arrondissement. What?
Lumi?
Lumière, yeah. And after that, it was Lustig. Lustig. It was a British guy.
Chana. It's closed down.
Anna, yeah, I love him.
He's got a wine bar now.
Yeah, a natural wine bar, great guy. And there was the first coffee shop in town, so I spent a lot of time there. And after that, now it's a city full of coffee shops. But I fell in love with coffee in South Africa. That's the story.
And to give people an idea of how much you love coffee, it's not yet midday.
Yeah.
We're sitting at the front of Bonbon. And this is your fourth coffee shop of the day?
Fourth coffee shop, because
That's insane.
Yeah, but I fucking love coffee. And I love the vibe in the coffee shops. And every coffee got its own vibe. So I like to read or just watching the NBA games or in the coffee shops or just talk to the owner.
Well, let's give a shout out to the two that we've been in together.
Yeah.
The first one, Candle Kids.
Candle Kids. Candle Kids, it's one of the new coffee shops in town. I think it's maybe 2 years, something like that. It's really beautiful inside. It's really, I think, a place that your audience gonna love. And after that, you get a nice view. So it's
What I liked about it is like a 2-story ceiling kind of.
Yeah.
And it used to be a laundromat.
yeah, laverie in French.
And then we talked to the owner, Martin, I think his name was,
And Ernest too.
and his brother, yeah. And they made a very beautiful cafe, very beautiful, with spanning big, like ceiling height windows, going out all over the corner of the streets. And he was saying it's a big international hodgepodge of people. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
And then, I love that place too. Thanks for taking. I've never been there before.
And I like the vibe inside, and I like the people. It's full of good-looking people inside. Every time you go there, people are so beautiful inside.
What were we doing then?
Yeah, I don't know. It made me mad. Every time I go there, I think, fuck it, I'm so ugly.
That's ridiculous. But other coffee shops, you've mentioned a few as we've been walking around. So to give people at home a picture of what happens when I walk around with Abiola in this district, it's a little bit like you're the mayor himself.
Yeah,
because you've got a job. I don't know if you want to talk about your job or if that's private.
I'm a social worker. Yeah, I'm a social worker, and I work in the 20th arrondissement for the mayor of Paris. And I'm a social worker. I don't know the word in English. Foyer. How do you say it?
Neither do I.
Yeah,
Foyer.
Foyer in French, it's house care. No, I don't know.
You work a lot with the kids that need extra help, kind of.
Yeah, and they can't live with their parents because of violence and stuff like that.
The people in this neighborhood know that that's your job when you're walking around and people are high-fiving you and saluting you and so on?
They know. And we request about Miliki Coffee. It's one of the few black-owned coffee in town, in Paris in general. They are so nice. And sometimes they give cookies or coffee for my coworkers and cookie for the kids we work with, and they are so generous. So I have to talk about them because it's been maybe a year they are just in the neighborhood, and they're really into the community. They give a lot of stuff for the kids I work with. So
I certainly am. What I've really enjoyed about walking around with you is when I did this kind of series before, I picked everywhere I wanted to go, and it was very much the things that I wanted to see or that I thought the listeners wanted to hear. Whereas this, I've absolutely left everything up to you. I haven't influenced anything that we've done. And we've walked streets I've not walked before. Although, having said that, Lena, my wife, lived 50 meters away from the place where we started. That surprised you?
Yeah, that surprised because you told me 15 years ago. Yeah,
10.
10 years ago. Okay, 10 years ago. Yeah, the neighborhood wasn't like that, so I was surprised.
You mean it was dodgy or what?
It was dodgy, so I was a little bit scared.
You don't think she's dodgy?
Lena is Swedish. So I think maybe for a Swedish woman, it wasn't the best part of time at that time, 10 years ago. But now it's changed a lot. So
you know where I was living? I was living just off Rue Montague in the 2nd district.
Okay, that's better.
We had the roles switched, I think, me and her.
Yeah.
You might be able to hear that there are about 50 8-year-old kids walking past us now.
Yeah, because there's a school just there. Let's work with that school.
Let's give a shout out to the place that we're before we end on coffees. This Bonbon.
Yeah, and it's one of the few, maybe the only one, family-friendly and kids-friendly.
I've never seen anything like it.
No, because in Paris, the coffee shop, it's full of hipsters kids.
You know what? Sitting about 40 centimeters from my shoulder, look right there. There's there's a 4-week-old baby on someone's arm through the window. We're sitting outside. But it feels like I've never seen a family-friendly place. I honestly have never seen something like this. When we walked in, there was like 11 kids drawing and so on.
I've been there once with my kid, and I don't know why in Paris we don't have that kind of coffee shop. So the owner, bless her, she opened that, and that's perfect for the family. And that's why I love in the 20th arrondissement, because it's really family-friendly. And it's all about the community, more than I'm in the 12th arrondissement now, and it's beautiful and amazing too, but it's different. Here it's like a village, and it's really the community.
A shout out to the owner as well, who, when I walked in, we recognized each other because she used to work at the coffee shop I used to go to when I lived in the 7th. And how's this for a plot twist? Her name's Astrid, which is the name of my daughter. And I want it was funny to think that there was an Astrid in our orbit 4 years ago. And now there's one in my house. She might say hello if she comes out later. But beyond cafes, can we talk restaurants? Are you going to take me to a spot for lunch?
Yeah, so it's one of the best neighborhood in town for food. I think every Parisian, especially Rive Droite, gonna say the same thing. Because you got Belleville, and we're going to the Paloma. La Paloma is a really nice neighborhood, really nice restaurant, because it's French food, but with a little bit twist, and it's the chef are women. That's what I like. It's really about empowerment and stuff like that. So the food is amazing. The staff is amazing. It's full of girls, and there's a cocktail bar just next. It's called Combat, and it's the same story.
I heard about this before.
Yeah, just ladies too, and they got good cocktails. So
why do you like it that it's run by ladies? Why does that appeal to you?
Because I think it's really representative of the 20th arrondissement. It's always about, how to say that, combat in French, in English.
Look, Astrid's just come out. Maybe she can help you with the word. Astrid, you want to be on the podcast? Come sit with us for a minute.
We talk about your coffee.
We were just actually, so firstly, Astrid, give us the 30 seconds of this place. Why are there so many kids here?
Yeah, so hi, we tried to create a place where families could feel comfortable in the restaurant environment, because in Paris kids are not included at all, especially babies, in coffees, restaurants. So we felt like we wanted to create a place where everybody can live together, every generation, and have the space and the devices that are adapted for it, but that the parents can also enjoy their moment here, because it's everything or nothing right now in Paris. Like if you go to a kid-friendly place, it looks like a kindergarten a little bit. So the parent is kind of left on the side, like waiting for it to finish.
May I ask, why is that important to you? Do you have kids, or do you?
I actually don't have kids, but working in the restaurant industry, I was able to tell that there was a big problem for parents, and I always felt a lot of empathy for them, because it's so sad. Also, you're a dad. Because it's so sad. Like people come with a stroller, and the person they love the most in the world, and they feel embarrassed and rejected by the people who work there very often, and it's the space is not adapted at all for them. So we really just I felt like either I wanted to open a place like this or become a doula.
Doula, like a nanny, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got two things to say. Firstly, do you remember, I don't know how, so you used to work in a cafe that I went to pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Do you remember, I have such fond memories. I used to come in there with a baby strapped to my chest. Do you remember this?
Yes.
And I'd get a takeaway coffee, and I'd walk around the Eiffel Tower, and I'd come back and pick up a coffee for my wife. Do you remember that?
I absolutely remember you as a customer. When you came in Bambin today, I totally knew who you were.
Yeah, I remember your name, and then that's the name of my daughter. I can't believe this. I'm going to take a picture of us and send it to my wife. But the second thing I wanted to say is about the 20th arrondissement. Abiola here is saying that he claims it's the best in the city. What? And you don't have to say that if you don't believe it, but what do you think about this district?
So what I absolutely love about this district is that there are so many cultures living together that it's like everybody can feel comfortable here and mixed together, and like everything is like makes me curious because there are so many little shops and like things to try, and like in terms of food, in terms of like grocery shopping, like there is a vibe about this district that you cannot find anywhere else. So, and of course for students and everything, like if you want to go out, like there is an energy in the 20th that is so special that I would recommend anybody to, if you come to Paris, come visit Belleville. I'm in love with Belleville personally.
You're going to be the next mayor?
Not yet, but maybe someday. And also, yeah, like so much history actually, like with the Père Lachaise and everything. Like it's really unique, and also if you want to feel the vibe of like Paris with locals, not like only tourists, even though tourists are very important too. It's a great place to come to discover, I feel like.
Sounds like you and Abiola are on the same page, and it's great to hear. I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for the batteries.
Thank you so much. No, you're welcome.
Hopefully some Earful Tower listeners will come and say hello to you in the near future. And thanks for the coffee. So, people are friendly here, huh?
Really friendly, and that's what I like in the neighborhood. People are friendly. I told you it's all about the community here. So yeah, people are friendly, and when we were inside, I saw some guys talking, and what I like too, it's like we got people who just born and raised in the 20e arrondissement, and the way they talk, it's funny because they talk in a old school way, and it's funny, like French movie character. Some guys are there since they're born here in that neighborhood, and it used to be edgy, dodgy. Now it's not anymore because the gentrification of Paris, it's everywhere. So, but it's funny to hear the way they talk. It's different.
Are you kind of saying that this is the cool part of town?
It's one of the coolest part of town. The Belleville, Jourdain too, and it changed a lot because 10 years ago, especially in Jourdain, it was just residential area. Now, especially the Friday night, Thursday night, it's full of hipsters and people from Scandinavia, people from the US, the youngsters especially. They come here, and I'm surprised. Every time I saw them in the subway or just in Jourdain, I say, okay, that's nice. They can appreciate another part of town, different part of town, and now you got the good restaurant, the good coffee,
Before I put you on the spot for some best streets and stuff like that, yeah. I know that I'm not going in on this angle, but I want to address that I know a lot of people that listen to this show are maybe a little older, maybe from, let's say, America or Australia, and maybe, like, in the past I've recommended Le Vieux Belleville, and I've had emails from people saying, is it safe to walk around there at night? If you step out of the fact that you know this neighborhood, you're comfortable around here, and you put yourself in their shoes, what would you answer them?
I can understand that it can look sketchy, so especially in the Belleville neighborhood, but it's not dangerous. I have to say that.
What would you say to my mum? You've not met my mum. What would you say? What would you say to Lena's mum if she wanted to come here at night? What would you say to her?
I would say to grab an Uber. To tell you the truth, maybe it's going to be easier because they are not from there. It's the same for me. When I went to New York, I went to the Queens, and it was amazing. But at night, I don't know the neighborhood, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a taxi.
It's like when you came to Lena's village in Sweden. You took taxi everywhere because you didn't trust them. I'm kidding.
So peaceful. It was so peaceful.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I think it can look sketchy, and if you're not around town and you don't know Belleville, maybe even if, to tell you the truth, my brother just married since last month, and his wife, she hates Belleville. She says, it's too sketchy. And I can understand because it's full of people and people from all over the world, and it's chaotic, it can be dirty, but that's what I like. It's intense. It's like Brooklyn. Now, Brooklyn is gentrified now. It's like the Queens, or it's like... for people who are not, how to say that, who are not used to that kind of environment, yeah, maybe take just a taxi or Uber. But it's safe, really. I've never heard a bad story about the neighborhood. But take a Uber.
There you go.
Come here. You should come.
All right, so now we do a quick fire round. Given this is the first of the series, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with this, but I'm going to ask you 3 or 4 questions to see where you send me, basically. So I hate to do this to start, but which is the best cafe?
I think Candle Kids.
Candle Kids. Okay, which is the best restaurant?
Laosiam, maybe.
What is it, Laosia?
Laosiam. It's just there.
Laosiam.
Laosiam. It's really good, and it's part of the community. They got 2 restaurants. They got Amasiam and Laosiam, and I think, that's one of the most popular for restaurant in the neighborhood for the people who live there. And it's Cambodian, Thailand food, Cambodian especially, and it's really amazing. The food is amazing with natural wine. You should go there, and it's representative of the neighborhood because it's Asian neighborhood. So I think, that's with the La Paloma and.
Hey, stop adding more. What about best street to walk down?
I'm gonna say Rue Saint-Blaise, but just a part of that street. Rue Saint-Blaise is like a village, really.
I didn't even know the street.
Yeah, maybe we can go there after the meal. It's next to Porte de Montreuil, and it's like, for me, and when I used to live there, it was the countryside for me. It's like when I'm in the south of France. There is a church, and there is one of the. They used to have that title, the best pizza in Europe, called Pepe.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a good tip. I went there, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that part of the 20e arrondissement. It's really full of local. You don't see tourists over there. And I think it's representative of the arrondissement.
Okay, cool. And last question is best thing to do. So it can be a museum, it can be a lookout, a park, anything. Best thing.
I think it's just to have a drink next to the view at the Parc de Belleville. Just the view, especially during the spring and summer, and it's nice just to have a beer, or I don't know what you drink, guys, but just to have a drink and see the sunshine and look at the Earful Tower and Pompidou. And the view is my favorite view in Paris. You got the best view at Parc de Belleville, and you got a lot of local vibe over there, and you have to go there once because the view of Paris is amazing.
Abiola, you nailed it. Thanks for showing me around. I'm going to go and enjoy lunch with you now. Yeah. And then I'm going to explore a little bit more. So thanks for sharing your knowledge with me.
Thank you, guys, and come in the 20e arrondissement, please.
You'll be the mayor? Maybe it won't be Astrid.
Yeah, and I can show you the arrondissement, and you're going to love it.
There you go. Okay, merci mec.
De rien, mec.
So there you have it, 20 kingdoms, and now we've done the 20th. Thanks to social worker Abiola for sharing his district with us. All the places that he mentioned will be on the website, on social media, everything. We'll be sharing it around. Otherwise, a few of those things that he mentioned made it into the 2026 guide to Paris, the PDF guide that we recently published. So check that out. You can either buy it or get it for free when you become a member. Now, the music you heard is from Press Maxon, his take on Edith Piaf's Sous le ciel de Paris. And we used that a couple years ago when I did a similar idea of going through all the 20 districts. Except that time, I went with my wife, stayed in a hotel, ate in restaurants that I picked. So it was kind of my version of what you should go and find, different to this season, which is talking to the experts. But what I figured I'd do is I'd polish up the old version of the 20th and release it this week as a sort of bonus episode. Make sure that everything's fresh and relevant, but just to sort of make sure you guys have plenty of things to do. Keep on the topic of the 20th. So thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to everyone who's booked a tour or become a member. And I'll see you again soon for the 19th Kingdom. Merci beaucoup and au revoir.